fellas. Thanks for joining us today. Got a good little special teams day put together for us on a Saturday. So appreciate you guys being here with us. First guy up is Sam Lenson, a guy who I got a chance to meet a few years ago. I've just been able to learn a tremendous amount of specialist play from him. So really excited to have him on. Sam, go ahead, take it away, bro.
All right, here we go. Let's I need to be able to share the screen. Let's see if this works. All right, here we go. Move this slideshow. All right, thumbs up if you guys could see this. Perfect. All right, guys. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm pumped up on a Saturday morning. What else would we rather be doing than just sharing some special teams and having a blast together? All right. If anybody has any questions throughout, please raise a hand. Make that button go so I see it. I'm going to get into it. I'm excited about it. And again, nothing else I'd rather be doing on Saturday morning than talking about teams. Just a little bit about myself really quick. I was a punter and kicker at the University of Maine from 2013 to 2018. In 2014, I tore my rectus femoris. I was taking a field goal in preseason camp. Rusher came along the edge, hit my hamstring, bruised up my hamstring pretty good, but we were opening that next week against Boston College, and I was into the thick of it. I was in that punting position where I could be out there on Saturday. So I took that next day. I took it off. I rested. I recovered, rehabbed, and then I wanted to be out there. So that next day, I went out there and I was taking a kickoff rep, and the last rep of the day, I'll always remember it. Went back and I felt my leg pretty much just snap in half. And I knew exactly what happened right there. I was out for 10 months. I went through an intense rehab. I was never able to get up to that Division I standard again. I kicked in a couple games and I held my senior year, but it really changed my mindset to how can I help my teammates, my players reach their potential with kicking and punting. When I graduated in 2018, I went to Israel. I worked with their national team. I also presented to all of the coaches in Israel trying to grow the game over there. It's pretty awesome. They have some ballers over there. 2019, I came back to the University of Maine. I got my master's in education and leadership. And while I was doing that, I served as a special teams quality control coach, working hands-on with creating practice plans, recruiting, film breakdown, and review for our specialists. And then last season, I was the University of New England specialist coach. And I also own and run Lenson Punting and Kicking. Do private and college training up in the Northeast, up in Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts. So getting that going as well. So my philosophy, there's no one way to kick, punt, or snap a ball. Yes, there are certain fundamentals and mechanics that all specialists have to have, but I want my players to be natural, smooth in themselves with their approach to the ball. Never too high, never too low. That's a mindset that whether you're a kicker, punter, snapper, holder, or if you're a lineman or a quarterback, you're never too high, never too low. You're always moving on to that next play. If we have a kicker going out there, let's say in a high school game, and he misses a PAT in the second quarter and his head's down, he's distraught, he's upset, he's thinking about that kick when you send him in for that in the fourth quarter to hit that game tying PAT. So never too high, never too low. Let it roll off your back. Get ready for that next one. Mental success, visualization before going on the field equals success on the field. So one thing I tell all my guys that I work with is that, look, we're all on our phones before bed, right? So put that thing away, put yourself in the moment before you go to bed. Visualize the stands, visualize the fans, visualize the opposing team, visualize the snap, hold, kick, visualize it going through the post or catching it out, molding and hitting that perfect spiral turnover ball. If you do it in your head, when you go out on the field, mind doesn't know the difference. You're going to be able to go out there and be successful. And then as a specialist coach, it's our job during the week to make sure that when we have our game on Friday or Saturday, our kicker, punter, snappers, they're fresh and ready to go. Makes no sense to use them and overuse them, throughout the week. So therefore on Saturday or Friday, they're going out there with a noodle instead of a cannon. We want them to be ready to go with the cannon to be a game changer and a weapon. So how I'm going to do this, I'm going to go through each phase of specialists. So I'm going to do punting, kicking, long snapping, holding. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask a question. That's what I'm here for. So punting. Just a quick overview. There's two prominent styles of punting. There's pro punt and there's rugby style. Depending on what style you use, it's going to change your scheme, but finding a punter who can be consistent and explosive for your team can be a weapon. And it's a small price to pay to change up your scheme to find that explosive and consistent player for you. So quick punting overview. I want my punters to have an athletic stance, narrow base, natural height. The reason why I want a narrow base and natural height is that when we take our steps, we don't take our steps out wide. We take our steps close together. And I want my punters to have all the natural height that they're able to get. And if we have our legs wide, it reduces the natural height. I'm going to talk all today. It's going to be a right-footed punter and kicker. If obviously a lefty, everything's switched. So right now it's going to be your left foot. It should be in front of your right foot. And the left foot is going to be the plant foot. Right foot is the kicking foot. Receive the ball with your arms out. We don't want to catch it in towards our body. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but catching it out, being confident with that catch. And you want to leave when the ball is received. We're not moving our body before we catch that ball. So our punting mold, I have a ball right here too. I'll refer to this as this. So I want to do a handshake grip on the ball. I want my thumb to be splitting the difference right through here. I want my pinky on the bottom of the seam. If you've ever thrown a baseball before, we're not gripping that as hard as you can. It's a relaxed grip on the ball as well. And then right here, if you see my thumb, this little indent goes right through this seam as well. I'm in control. I have possession of this ball, but I'm not death gripping it, because when we get it out, we need to be able to have a consistent and confident drop every single time. So we need to have a relaxed grip. That's why I emphasize the stress test right there. So finding a punter's steps. I don't like calling it a 3-step punter. You can have a 2-step punter and a 2.5-step punter. I'm going to show you guys this right now as well. If I'm here, if I'm back, if I'm a 2-step punter, I have my left foot in front, my right foot back. If I'm a 2-step punter, I catch the ball, I put it out, I take that first step with the right, second step with that left. If I'm a 2.5-step punter, I'm going to take a slight jab with my left foot, and then I'm going to take that second step, and then third. So I like personally having a 2-step punter because the more variables you throw into steps, the more things that potentially could go wrong. So less variables is more consistent. But you want to take natural steps to the ball. We don't want to be lunging to the ball. Bigger is not better. Bigger is not better. And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. We want our toes to be straight down the field. One thing that I look at my punters all the time is I watch from feet up. So I think everything starts with the feet. If our feet are off to the side, it's a big time we're going to swing around inside the ball and coming to our left. So watching your feet is going to be huge. So the drop table and release. This is one of the most important phases in punting. So the ball should be placed over our punting leg at belly button height. Now this is going to depend. If you're in Georgia, if you have nice weather, you can keep that there the whole time. Up in Maine and New Hampshire, it gets tough during the season. So maybe we have to lower that drop, sacrifice a little bit of hang time, but to be able to get good foot on ball contact and turn that ball over. One thing that I see with a lot of high school athletes is that when they catch the ball, they catch it and they take their steps, they're moving around, and then they try to drop it consistently. When you catch that ball, I want you to imagine there's a glass table below where the ball is, right here, all right, or and above. If we move it up, we're going to break that glass table. If we move it down, we're going to break the glass table. You want to slide that right along. Again, less movements equals less room for error. Slide that along that drop table. Your arm is not as long as your leg. All right. I'm not telling my punters to throw the ball out and try to catch it or try to punt it. It's a controlled float. So when I have my punter has their arm out, I don't have it 100% locked out. I have a little bit of bend to it. And then when we float that ball out, it's extending that elbow. It's giving it a controlled float, releasing all 5 fingers at the same time, being able to get the ball to land and bounce right back up. So we're not throwing the ball, where it's a nice controlled float. If you can see, extending the elbow. Key to a good punt, contact. You want to, contact is critical to the successful of a punt. You want to aim to hit the ball at the bottom of the seam directly opposite of the laces, and we want to plantar flex our foot. I'm going to show you right here. This is dorsiflex. My toe is pointed to the sky. I want to plantar flex my foot. I want to have it pointed down. So therefore, I'm giving a nice surface area to make contact with that ball. We're going to drive our leg up towards our head with a follow through. It might be so forceful that your plant foot leaves the ground. I tell all my punters, follow the rhythm, small, tall, drive the ball. I quiz them at the end of it. Small with their steps, tall with our chest, drive the ball forward. So I'm going to show you some videos here. This is being small, being athletic. So again, I want to show you this really quick. I want everyone to see this. If I'm in this position, I don't think I'm in a very athletic position to punt the ball. I think I'm long, and I don't think this is a very conducive step to be able to go up there and punt the ball. Notice how my body's going back. If I'm small with my steps and I'm here, I'm able to knee drive up through that ball. And I look a lot more athletic than if I look in here. I said big is not always better. And that's the case when we talk about punting steps. So again, looking at steps, nice and natural. Drew a box of where that left foot wanted to land to make sure that we are not getting big. So this one's pretty big. Jerky on the first step. Well, again, we talk about the catching it in towards our body. Big second step right there. Even bigger third step. All the weight's coming back. Hits it off the side of the foot. Not what we want. Some drills. Drop drill. This is something that you can have your punters do throughout practice. This is nothing. This takes nothing on your leg. You're not punting the ball. You have their right foot. Again, if you're a right foot punter, you have your right foot on the line. You want to walk their steps. You want to drop the ball like you're going to punt. Do not swing the leg. You want to float that ball out. If the ball lands and it bounces back towards us, that means the nose of the ball is down. If it bounces and it goes away from us, that means the nose of the ball is up. All right, we want to be able to have it straight down and up. And I'm not sure if I even mentioned this at the beginning, but I want to take this ball as a clock. So right now, if it's pointed straight at you, this is 12 o'clock. You'll see some coaches and some players out there that at 10:30, and that's fine if you can be able to get that to be turned over and be consistent every time. What I see a lot is like 1 in every 4 is a good ball. The rest, you hit the back of the ball and you come inside of it. I want to be at 11:45 where I'm out at right here, exposing that sweet spot. And then I want to take my right eye, again, I'm righty, and I want to be able to look down this river. This is what I call the river. It's on the laces and the Wilson sign or whatever logo that you want to use. Your right eye should flow right through there. If your right eye flows right through there, we're at 11:45. If I'm at 10:30, there's no way my right eye is floating through this river. I want to be at 11:45 to be able to expose that sweet spot. So good punter, good hands. We need to have good hands. It is the first part of a successful punt. Catching the ball out in front of you, making sure that we are catching it with our mold. I always tell, like I teach middle school PE. So I'm teaching my students that if it's below your waist, pinkies together. If it's above our waist, thumbs together. That's different with punting, in my opinion. One thing that I tell all my punters is that if it's below your neck, you are catching it with your pinkies together. The reason why I want you catching it with your pinkies together is because if I catch it with my pinkies together, I'm already in my mold position. If I catch it with my thumbs together, now I need to change the way I hold it and then mold it. So it's adding more time and making it harder for your punter. Below your neck, pinkies together, making it easy for that mold. This is critical. Good hands, good punter. This is our one-step drill. So this is the last step of our punt. So we're going to start with our punting foot forward. I take a natural jab step with it. If you start, we're here with it again. I'm at my parents' place, so hopefully this is a good view. But if I'm doing a full step punt, I take that, let's just say I take that step with that right foot to start. This is my one step position. I'm starting with my right foot in front, ball is out. I'm gonna take a natural jab with my right to get my momentum going. If you start with your knee locked and you're here, we're gonna have to make up momentum. And a lot of the times you're gonna be springing up and then going down. We wanna stay on a nice consistent plane through. So I wanna start with my right foot in front, little knee bend. I'll show you on this side if this makes it easier. Little knee bend, ball is out, ready to go. I'm gonna take a small jab. And then again, bigger is not better. I wanna take a natural step through. A natural step through, and then my leg will be coming up. I'm gonna show you some video of that right now. So like I said, start with the kicking foot in front. Guide hand releases as your feet pass. So as my feet pass and as my left foot comes through, I'm gonna take this off. You'll see some punters that when they have it, they have a really big swing. If or the left arm, comes out really far. If that happens, chest usually goes open to the left, and then my whole body turns that way. So I want to stay nice and small with my arm, right? Smaller is better. I can stay up straight through my target. If I keep it open, I'm gonna have my left chest or my chest open to the left, usually brings my ball over there. We want to avoid stacking our feet. I'm going to show you an example of what stacking is, and it's something that we want to avoid. So this is a lefty punter. I have his left foot on the line. So we want that right foot. We want this right foot to go straight down. We don't want it to cross over this line, because if it crosses over this line, our left foot cannot naturally go through that ball because our right foot is there. So it needs to come out and around, and you're gonna go across the ball every time. So watch where his right foot lands. So again, natural jab with that left. That's good right there. But watch how that right foot passes up and over that line. My left foot cannot naturally, it landed right on this line. It naturally cannot go up and through the ball because the right foot is cutting it off. So he's going up, or excuse me, he's going out and then up to get the ball. Up and then out. So that is something we really want to avoid. If this is my feet right here, and I'm taking a one step, my right foot is in front right here, left foot is here, and I take that step, and then my left foot crosses over. Again, naturally, I cannot come up through the ball. I have to come out and around. We want to be able to take that step naturally, like you're on train tracks, going straight through and straight up through that ball. This is a better picture of it right here. Wish I had it off to the side, but straight up, straight through. You're not trying to hit a 50-yard punt, 40-yard punt. What I tell my guys, just make solid contact and try to turn that ball over. So punt drill list, punt pass drill. It's a drill that you could do 10 yards away from your punter. Catch the ball, lower the drop table. You're just trying to feel the ball off your foot, punting it 10 yards to your partner. Buddy drop drill, last step drill, drops and walking punt. So one drill that I'm really high on right now is the drop punt. It's doing your drops. You do one drop, you do another drop, and a third drop, you actually punt the ball. So the reason why I like doing that is because you're natural with the first two, and you're trying to challenge yourself being natural with that third one. I did it the other week with a punter. He's a junior at a high school in New Hampshire, and he turned the ball over for one of the first times in his life because he did the first two were natural drops. Third one took it as natural and just punted the ball. Beautiful turnover ball. So I really like that drill right now. Drop punt. So a little film review for mechanics. Right now, this punter is going to the left. His goal is to punt this ball over here. He's on the left hash. Feet want to be going that way. Again, I look at the feet first right now. I want you to watch. First step is good. Second step, when he lands, this toe is pointed right down the hash, or even towards that middle of the field, like this left upright. He is now telling his body he's punting that ball straight down the middle of the field. His left foot is going to land to the left. So naturally, he's going to have to bring that leg going to be coming around that ball going left. When it lands, that left toe is pointed to that left right there. His right leg was started straight, is now going to hit the ball and come around. He's going to get around this ball. The ball is going to land over on the side. Again, that's a good ball right there. But 90% of the time, he needs to be able to get that right foot pointed straight down this alley like you're on train tracks to be able to get, he's losing power and distance with that ball, with this punt. One thing that this kid does really well, and I know every special teams coach is going to applaud this, is that if you have an errant snap, never put that knee down. He becomes a shortstop. He's able to get the ball, gets the body in front of him, puts that ball out. But I want you to watch his drop here. I want you to watch his drop. His nose is going to be turned in at 10:30, and that thing's going to get to 8:30 before he punts it. We need to make sure right there. You see how that's in? You could see it starting to move right now. He's going to hit the back of this ball, and the ball is going to go left. See how that ball is moving in? He's going to hit the back of the ball, and the ball is going to go left. Not a consistent drop every single time. Move on to punting. The catch is important. Again, right here shows that you have no confidence in your catch. We got to be able to mold that ball. Having your punter work off to the side, just catching the ball is going to be huge. It's the first part of your punt. Again, that glass table right here, I want you to imagine there's a glass table here and a glass table here above the ball. I would like him to be out already, molded, ready to go. But you notice how that ball drops right there. We're adding more variables in, and it's going to make it harder for ourselves. Again, that ball is very much pointed down, very big last step. It's going to be very hard to get a consistent punt with those steps and with that drop every time. So that wraps up punt. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask, and we'll do something at the end too if you want as well. Kickoffs. So for kickoffs, as a beginning kicker starts out, we need to perfect our steps towards the ball. They need to be consistent, comfortable, and confident. I'll say it again: consistent, comfortable, and confident. Kicker's plant foot needs to be a foot lengths away from the ball. We need to have a quick twitch hip movements. Kickoffs are a very unnatural and explosive body movement. Trying to kick that ball 60 to 70 yards down that field. It's not something that we should do often, and we'll touch on that a little later as well. We want to stand tall. We don't want to crunch through the ball. If we crunching is when you bring your chest down. Our leg is not going to be able to get up and through that ball that we want it to be able to get. And remember the hurdle after the kick. I'm going to show you an example of what this hurdle is. So finding our steps, kickers should take anywhere from 7 to 9 steps to the ball. One way to find for your kicker to find their steps is just going out to a field. This is not something that's going to take 10 minutes. This is going to take a little bit of time to be consistent, confident, and smooth into the ball. So one way a kicker should find their steps is place a marker where that ball is, or the tee. Just go back to a spot that feels natural. Just go back to it, and it should be a progression. Go back to a spot that feels natural. Try going up to the ball, and that's how you're going to be able to find your steps. I wish there was an easier way, but it takes time to be able to go through. Does 7 and 4 work? Does 8 and 5 work? Does 6 and 6 work for some kids? It takes a while for you to find your spots, or the correct steps. Excuse me. The approach drill, dry drills. This is going to be huge. The approach should be a walk, a jog, and the last two should be explosive right before you kick the ball. So again, if you look to the right, this kicker, walk to a jog to explosive, and then goes through that ball. Build up. It's going to be very hard to be able to get consistent and confident steps to the ball if you are sprinting at it. It's going to change up. I would assume almost every kick, but if you're consistent, comfortable, and confident to the ball, it's a walk, jog, sprint. So this is a specialist that I worked with at UNE when I first got there. Let's just show you from here. Again, this was his first, this is just day one doing kickoffs. I want you to watch. What I see is big, long and clunky, unnatural movements to the ball. You're going to see that he is lunging to the ball, and that is not something that I wanted him to do. That's not bad, but when we get here, big and lungy to the ball. And we changed that up and we worked on it. And this was towards the end. I'm just trying to get this here so you guys can see it. Again, being smooth, comfortable, and confident. To me, that looks like it's a lot better. He's not lunging. We look natural to the ball, and we look smooth. Walk, jog, then picks it up right before. So stacking, again, I talked about stacking with punting. Stacking is when that one foot goes over the other foot. Again, I'll show you an example right here. If we're punting or if we're doing a kickoff, if we're taking our steps and one foot goes over the other one, this foot naturally cannot go through the ball or through your other foot, excuse me. It has to come out and around. I'm going to show you an example of a stack. Now, this is a kid I worked with in Florida with Coach Lundy, and this kid's special, but he stacks right there. And again, you'll see it right here. That left foot is in front of that right foot. So naturally, that right foot cannot just go through that left foot. He needs to come out and around. Now, he hits a solid ball, don't get me wrong, but he has more power and distance if he wasn't stacking. See how that left foot has to come out, left foot right there, out and around to be able to get to that ball. Stacking is very obvious, and I really think that if you stay out of that train track mentality, you're not going to be able to sacrifice height and distance on your kick. So working on mechanics, contact point, we want to use the instep of our kicking foot. I'm going to show you a diagram when we get to field goal in a couple of slides of where exactly you want to make contact on your foot. The middle of our plant foot should be 1 foot away from the kicking tee. So one thing that you could have your kickers do is that you have your tee, you have your plant, put your foot in between, should be 1 foot lengths away. Our plant foot is very important to the success of our kick. If it's too far back or off to the side, it's going to change the height, distance of the kick drastically. Excuse me. Our hips need to snap close on impact. If we leave them open, again for a righty, the ball is going to tail right. So during the momentum of kickoffs, we make contact with that ball. We want to land on our kicking foot. With field goal, where we want to be more accurate, we're going to land on our plant foot. I'll show you an example of that after. But as you can see right here, he's going up and over. I want you to imagine there's a hurdle right here. That right foot is going up and over. We are exploding downfield, which is going to give you height and hang time on your kick. I'll show you an example of that in a little bit. 50% kickoff drill. I worked with Kenny Doak. He was at Southeast Missouri State last year. We created a plan for him kicking wise and strength wise. He became, after the season, had a really good year. First team all OVC for kicking, made a couple really big kicks, but we kicked off 0 times this summer. 0 times. All we did was a 50% kickoff drill. So we had him take his field goal steps back, his field goal steps over. Show you it here. All right, he's not kicking a ball right here. Field goal steps back, field goal steps over. Then he took a little bit of a step back right there. He's starting with his right foot in front. He's going to jab with his right, then take his natural field goal steps to the ball. Jab, 1, 2, 3, up and over. So we really focused on this 50% kickoff drill, just getting great contact. Because like I said, it's a very unnatural motion kicking off. And if we can hold back and not do that, but we'll still work on getting the correct fundamentals and techniques and ball contact and follow through, that's going to help us a lot. So the hurdle drill, this is something that I referred to earlier. As you can see right back here, we have a hurdle, we have the kicking tee. This is going to give you height and hang time on your kick. Up and over the hurdle. Again, if I'm a baseball player and I'm trying to hit one out, Baseball starting up right here. If I make contact, I'm not just going to stop right here. I'm not going to be able to make good contact. I'm not going to be able to hit the ball. We want to be able to follow through. So that's the same thing that we want to do with that hurdle drill. Dakota, great question. Let me bring it up again really quick. So Dakota asks, what are you teaching the kicker to attack on the kickoff plant or the ball? What is the depth of the foot that you teach? So when we go to kickoff, if we need to attack our plant foot, if we don't attack the plant, then we're not going to be able to get a good ball. So I tell them to attack the plant foot, getting that foot in the proper position. Now the proper position, again, is 1 foot a length away from the ball. We want to be back a little bit. We don't want to be forward with the ball. So I want to split the difference. If I'm right down here, I'm here with it. Sorry. So let's just say, using what I got, this is the kickoff tee right here. I'm 1 foot length away from the ball, and I want to split the difference between where my toes are and where the middle of my shoe is right here, and I want to be even right here with it. I want to hit the ball on that upswing, therefore I can get height and distance. If I hit it up, like when I do field goals, if I'm here and my heel is even with it, I'm going to be able to hit that back of the ball. I'm going to sky it. So I want to split the difference between my middle of the foot and the toe, draw a line right through here. Therefore, I'm back with it. I'm able to lock out, get up and through that ball. But if I attack the ball, my plant could be all over the place. I want to be able to get a consistent plant foot, and then my foot will be in the proper position every single time. Love the question though, Dakota. Love the question. Interested to talk more about the topic as well, definitely. So just a full kickoff breakdown. I wanted to just say kickoff reps should be numbered. We always want quality over quantity, quality over quantity. I had my guys during the season. We kicked off maybe 4 times during the week, but that was it. A lot of it was dry drills. A lot of it was 50% kickoffs. I wanted them to be fresh, ready to go for the game. Natural, ready to go up and through that ball. So field goals. When we kick, we want to use the instep of our foot. It is the hardest part of the foot. The navicular bone is the hardest part of your foot and the best place for contact. So navicular bone is right on the instep of your foot. The only way we can get to it is that if our foot is locked out. So again, I'm going to bring this down. If I'm hitting the ball like this, my foot is not locked out. I'm going to have a very hard time exposing this navicular bone right here. And that's the bone I want to be able to hit the ball with. So I want to be able to lock my foot out, be able to expose that navicular bone. So therefore I can make proper contact with that ball. So our plant foot is huge to the success of our kick. If our plant foot is too far back or off to the side, it's gonna definitely hurt our kick drastically in terms of distance and direction. Plant foot, it should be about a foot length away from the ball. So just like I was talking about with kickoffs, this all changes though with tees or blocks, because in high school, you're allowed to use that. Now, fun fact about myself, I kicked off a 2-inch tee up until my freshman year at the University of Maine. Now, personally, I think that was a mistake. That freshman preseason camp, I struggled hard with kicking field goals because I was making that transition from a 2-inch to the ground. The sooner you can make that transition, even to a 1-inch, is going to help you out big time if you have aspirations of playing in college. When using a 2-inch tee, the middle of your plant foot should be even with that tee. When you're using a 1-inch, you want to split the difference between the middle of your foot and your heel, so it's a little further back. And when you're kicking off the ground, again, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to show you guys again. If we're kicking off the ground, and let's say my spot is right here, this is where I'm going to kick the ball. I want 1 foot distance away, and I want my heel equal to that. Therefore, I can make the best contact going right through the target. Oh, excuse me. All changes based on the block that you use. Upper body and lower body. The kick side arm should be right down by the kicker side. So right now, if we're looking at this this kicker right here, right arm right down by the side. Kicker's plant foot arm should be extended out 90 degrees, creating that lateral lean. I'm going to show you about that in a second. Don't want to see any crunching or windshield crunching. Again, it's bringing our chest down throughout it. And then windshield is when our arm comes out, down, and around. We want to be able to be smooth. Arm comes out, comes straight back, not out, down, up, and around. We don't want to see a high heel. I'm going to show you an example of a high heel in a minute. We don't want to see a high heel. I want my kicking foot, shin parallel to the ground, knee drive to that ball. Our follow through. This is going to help improve distance and accuracy as well as prevent injury. We want to be able to skip through aligns power and accuracy to our target. Where you start is where you finish. We're not going to be able to start, we're starting off this, again, a lefty. We're starting off back to the side. So he should finish back to the side over on this right side here. We don't want to be able to kick this ball and stay true right to our target. We want to be able to, if our leg's coming up at an angle back, we want to be able to have it finish forward where it started from. Good. Okay, so this is a no step contact drill. This is what I'm talking about, a high heel. And you're going to see it right here. I want shin parallel to the ground, because if we lose our shin parallel to the ground, our heel is coming up and then we're coming down at the ball. I want to be able to be parallel and then through the ball, not down at it. So I'm going to show you an example right here. When he brings this arm up, notice how, this leg loses. It is not parallel. It was right here. It was parallel. This is not parallel. So when he's going to make contact with this, it's coming down on the ball. He's exposing that navicular, which makes a good contact point. But right now, that leg is super high. This is creating that high heel. He's coming down on the ball. He's not coming through the ball. I'll play it one more time, just so without pausing it. He's coming down on it, not going through it. And that's where that knee drive comes in. Our no step kick. This is something that is very much debated in the kicking world. But one thing that I have with my guys is I have the lean drill. I want to be able to create that lateral lean that you're going to be able to have in a game. When I was kicking in high school and in college, I never did the no step lean drill. I was always a one step. I would just stand up. I'd try to create that lateral lean leaning off to the side like I would do in the game. But it's very hard when you're standing, just doing a one step kick. So what I have all my athletes do is I have a pole, a fence. I have them lean against that to be able to expose that navicular bone that we want to be able to hit that ball off of. So right now, this is a sophomore at Thornton Academy. It's a school in Maine. They're pretty dominant. This was my first lesson with him. Sorry for the video. I want to be able to show you from the back right here. You want your shin parallel right there to the ground. You can knee drive to that ball. He loses parallel a little bit, but he comes up and through. This is not a drill where you are going to be hitting the ball, trying to get it through the uprights. I want to see crisp rotation about hip height, just being able to lock out our foot, feeling that proper contact, right? But we have to create that lateral lean that we're going to naturally have when we go and kick that ball, when we take our jab 1-2, our full steps to that ball. We want to be able to lock out and get that good contact. So this is a one-step kicking drill. Again, we went over one-step punt. This is one-step kick. You start with your right foot in front, left foot back. Now, again, without even looking at this video, I want to draw the lines, which means I want my left foot and my left toe to be pointed right at my plant spot. If it's pointed out, we're going to have to step out and then come back. Again, less is more. So let's have this left foot pointed, left toe pointed right at this plant. This right foot, I want pointed back at this right stick. I want my belly button to split the difference between my plant and the ball. It just keeps our chest in line. right shoulder, even with that ball. Again, making sure that we're in line. I have so many stories that I could tell from my playing days because I went through the ringer with what I thought was right. I went through times my sophomore year when I was trying to make up power from my quad that I didn't have, excuse me, my junior year, make up power that I didn't have through my quad. So I started my kick. I was looking this way pretty much, and the uprights were here, just because then I was thinking that when I made contact, if I swung my hips through and everything came through at the same time, I was going to get more power in distance, which it did, but I missed the left like 30,000 times, and I had no idea why. So I was just trying to regain that power. So I want everything facing those uprights. So again, jab right there, plant, knee drive to the ball, shin parallel. Jab with he's a lefty, so jab with the left, shin parallel, skips through it. It's just a post drill. I want you guys to watch this really quick. If you watch this first one, I just want you to watch his left hand. Maybe not. All right, sweet. I want you to watch his left hand. I'm going to try to pause it at the correct time. But right here, aim small, miss small. So we're aiming right at this post. Now he misses off to the right here, which is still a dang good kick, but he's not hitting the post, that's the emphasis of this drill. Watch his left arm dips down, chest, everything. Because his left arm goes down, everything goes to the right. We want to keep this up so it keeps our chest towards our target. And now everything right here, if you were to look, to me, this all looks like it's going right. And I think it's due to that left arm. So watch his left arm here. And this next one, this very next kick. All I told him was to keep that left hand up, left arm up, drills the pole. Dry reps, this is huge. This is not, we don't have to watch these videos right now. But again, going through snap, hold, kick, making it as game-like as you possibly can without kicking that ball. Leaving when the holder's finger comes right up and we're able to visualize that ball going down. Again, this is the Thornton Academy kicker. This was his first kick of the lesson. Again, without any coaching. And then this is the last kick of the lesson, working on being confident, smooth to the ball, getting that proper lockout and hitting that ball through the big yellow things. A lot better. This kid's got a big upside. Putting it all together, mental preparation is critical for kicking. Visualizing is the best way to prepare for a game. Best thing that a kicker can do is dry reps, not taking time, not taking excess kicks with their leg. We want to go in with a cannon, not a noodle during the game. Like I said, kickers should not spend all practice kicking, working on drills, but not kicking the entire time. And consistency is key. Each kick, approach it the same. It doesn't matter if it's a PAT or a 50-yard field goal, same mechanics that go into play. Coach G, how much time do I have? I don't have my watch on.
Yeah, I'm on another 15 minutes.
15? Let's go. I'm good. All right. So long snapping. The grip. You want to hold the ball just like you would throw overhand. All right. Now, again, we have our guide hand. It's like if we ever played basketball. If we have our left hand on the ball, it's a guide hand. I have my middle finger right along this instep the seam. It's floating right down, and my hand on the other side, ready to go. So warm-up drills, wrist circles, playing pass left and right, fast pitch throws. We're going to warm up those shoulders. Dry snap, 5 yards down, 5 yards back, and 7-yard snap, feet anchored in the ground. And then a 14-yard snap. That's usually the progression that I take. This is Kevin Gallick. He's a senior at Lewiston High School. I've worked with him a bunch of times. He's going to UNH next year to compete for the long snapping position. And this kid's a baller. This kid's really good. And I'll show you some videos in a little bit later about him. So again, feet anchored in the ground. When we snap that ball, we want our head to come through looking like a backwards 4. The form, Feet straight, outside shoulder width apart, weight evenly distributed, draw that line. Now, one thing that you can do is, because everyone's hip gait is different, you could have your toes, if you squat and your toes are slightly out, I would have that same stance with snapping as well. If toes are out, it's going to help you sit back into that. That's okay to do. Hips back, back flat, arms extended, wrist around that ball. When we do the snap, we want to use the momentum to snap back. This is only for long snapping, 3 to 5 inches. We're trying to get that ball back accurately, but with some force as well, anywhere from 0.66 to 0.7. Our short snap, our feet are anchored into the ground. Our feet are not moving. It's okay to have a little bit of a wider base on field goal snaps and short snaps, because then it extends that line longer to get for the defense to get to your kicker. Keep your head still, release the ball at your feet, follow through with arms extended, pinkies to the ground, thumbs to the skies, eyes to the punter or holder. Pinkies to the ground, thumbs to the sky, eyes to the punters and holder. So a common mistake is putting way too much power and emphasis on leaning that ball forward and putting weight on it. Usually when that happens, the ball is going to go into right field, just like that case right there. All right. And then the other thing we want to do that we want to learn from with a common mistake is when we do this, we never turn around, we never look. Also, I always want my snappers to have that ball down and approach the ball. We're never going to be able to pick the ball up in the game, so we're never going to practice that. So 2-hand overhead snap. This is an explosive warm-up drill. You want to start with your hands. You want your hands to finish at your chest. We're starting it right on our forehead, right here. And I want to explode forward, thumbs down, pinkies up. I don't want you to come back like this and then forward, because then we're creating a hitch that we have to do. I want it to start right at our forehead and then finish right here. So yes, we're not going to get as much power on it, and that's okay. Work on exploding back to our target. So this is dry snapping. Dakota, I'm going to get to your question in a second. So again, this is dry snaps. This takes no, this is a drill that your snappers can do throughout practice. This is not going to hinder them or hurt them. We want to make sure that they're ready to go in the game. They don't need to be snapping the whole practice. So this is a hand speed drill. This is a drill that I really like. And the reason why I really like it is because we want to train our hands to go fast from point A when our hands are out to point B when our hands are through. So we want to be quick and fast with our hands. So what a drill that we're going to do is that we're going to have a coach have a ball, put it on top of your, right above your glutes. They're going to say go. They're going to drop that ball. Our hands are going to go through it and try. And again, that was the first one. Again, I'm not a long snapper. Try my best with it. This is definitely a better picture of this one. We're trying to hit this ball out. So again, we're trying to get it back, trying to get as fast from point A to point B as you possibly can. So Dakota's question, Coach Tillman's question, how much contact does the guide hand have on the ball? Fingertips, all fingers, and palms. So I take this as kind of like a basketball. If we're here, when you're playing basketball, you have your guide hand and it is accessible to the ball. I'm not trying to grip this thing like if there's no tomorrow. All right. I really want fingertips and a little bit of palm on this, but I'm not gripping it hard at all. It's all fingertips, little bit of palm on the ball right here, but no grip, not gripping it as hard as I can because I want a clean release through those legs, a clean release through the legs. It's a guide hand. We're letting this arm and we're letting the fingertips do the work on the snap. So aim small, miss small, snap into a target. One thing I should have done is put the pole drill that I have with Kevin here. We line them up 15 yards away from the pole, aim small, miss small, just like we did with the UNE kicker, aiming to the pole when we're doing field goals. But really aim small, miss small, always reset after the snap, walk back up. Right now, this is where I want that ball to be. Kevin's down here. He snaps the ball. Again, not a bad miss right there, right on the hit for a righty. He's going to go back. He's going to break the huddle. He's going to run back up. Ball's going to be down. He's going to draw the line. If you guys saw that one more time, he drew the line right there. Arms are out. There's a set call. Delivers a dime. All right, every single time. Aim small, miss small. Snap film breakdown. This is for field goal. If you see where I caught it right here, he gave me perfect laces. But that was not something that happened overnight. We figured out that maybe he's not at 7 yards. Maybe he's at 7 1/4. So maybe checking out and seeing where you're catching that ball. If you're catching that ball right off to the side, maybe move it in half of a fist or a fist length. So you're catching it here and being able to put it down. So that was one thing that we did. And he's able to get consistent laces almost every single time when he snaps it now. And then making it as realistic in a game. We have two guys in the A gap, give a set call. Those arms come up, he throws the bows. Good snap, great hold, and a good put down. Again, trying to make it as realistic as possible in a game. Rapid fire short snap drill. This is a drill that I really like. I don't want my snappers to think about this whatsoever. You see your set, you snap that ball. So his goal is to get that every single time perfect back to me without thinking. Just grab it, snap. As you see, the laces are pretty much perfect every time. So going into holding, proper position, holder will have their right knee down and left knee up. So this is again for a righty. Left hand will spot where the kicker wants the ball. Your right hand is extended down to your long snapper. A typical cadence for high school is down. Then you're going to look back at your kicker. They're going to give you a nod. And then they're going to say set or ready and then receive the snap. As a kicker, when I take my steps back and over, I look at my target, again, not through the uprights. I'm picking something in the distance. I'm taking a deep breath, and I have my swing thoughts, whether that's swing 70%. It's a thought that's personal to you, swing thoughts that's going to help you lock in. And that's all you're thinking about. Then you're looking right at the holder's finger that's on the ground for the left hand. When that thing moves, when that finger picks up, that's when you go. We're not looking at the ball. There's excess variables there. Let's minimize the variables. Look at that finger. The catch, we want to catch the ball with two hands. We want to put the ball down at the spot. You want to spin the ball with your right hand and hold it with the left. If the kicker's back here and you catch it and you put it down and your hand is on the back of the ball, that's going to mess with the kicker. We want to catch that ball, put it down. That's your first responsibility, is to get the ball down. Then you want to spin the ball, and then you always want to lean it towards you a little bit, never away from you. This decreases, if you're the kicker right here and I'm leaning it away from you, this decreases the surface area of the ball that you have to hit. This increases if you're locked out. This increases if you locked out. The last thing I want to touch about is that you'll see some kickers holders, they hold it with one finger up. You'll see some people that hold it with a palm on it. What I like to do is I like to pinch the ball. Now I don't want you to be down here with your laces, equal to this white lace that comes by. I want to pinch the top. I feel like this gives you as much control as you need to be able to lean the ball in any way you can. Looking back at it again, I could be very critical about these pictures because I'm the one holding the ball. I would like my left, if you look at this middle picture, I would like my left knee to be out a little bit. Therefore, my elbow is nowhere near hitting that right there. But I like this first picture, catching the ball out in front of you, putting it down, eyes locked on that ball, making sure you're doing as much as you can to put your kicker in a successful position to catch that ball. Okay. So coach stretch, where does the holder align to the snapper? Is his body in line of the snap, or is the snap going to the spot? So I have let's play out this scenario. All right, it's a PAT. Ball's on the 3-yard line. You're on the 10. I have my kicker go out. They pick the spot that they want to go. So if they put their foot down, let's say they put their foot down right here, this is where they want to be. That's where my finger is. So I am off to the side, and I want my one thing that could hit your point, coach, is that I want my right knee when it's down right here. I want this to be in the A gap. Therefore, if I have my knee that's closed up, so again, I'll show you an example right down here. So if I'm down in this position, holding the ball, and my knee is closed up right here, if I have a snap off to the side, it's going to be really hard for me to catch it here, and I don't look very athletic, and then bring it down over here. I want my holders to be able to sit down in this position. Knee is going to the A gap. Therefore, is that if he misses, if the long snapper or short snapper misses, and it's over here, that's easy for me to catch the ball rather than if I was closed up and I have to come back over here. I'm open to it. I want my left toe pointed back to the kicker. Again, this all goes back to hip flexibility. Therefore, when I catch that ball, my left elbow hits my left knee, eyes down, spin, and then pinch the ball at the top. I want to be able to give my kicker the good angle to the ball. Again, they pick their spot, hand out to the front. I'm telling my snapper, you want to hit the hand or aim at my left shoulder. So I'm here, catch it here, being able to put it down and make my job easier for the snapper and kicker to be able to do their jobs. So in conclusion, I just want to kind of go over a couple of points, and I know I have probably 3 minutes left right now. You want to put your players in game-like scenarios. I'm not the biggest player, or excuse me, I'm not the biggest fan of going out there and kicking off sticks. I want to make it as game-like as possible. I'm also not a big fan of going out there and kick 50-yard field goals or 55-yard field goals or 60-yard field goals. Yes, that's great and it shows leg strength, but the majority of your kicks in the season are going to be from PAT to 35 or 40-yard field goals. Let's go 100% on there and become an All-American rather than practicing from 40 to 50 or 40 to 55, where you might have 1 or 2 kicks, where the majority of your kicks are going to be from PAT. It's a 40-yard. You want to listen to your players if they're feeling, their quad is hurting or they need a lighter day. We want to listen to them. That coincides with adjust your practice script accordingly. And then stretching in flexibility is key. I'll leave you with a quote. This is a quote that I live by: is luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I don't believe in luck. I believe you prepare for the opportunity and you're presented with it and you take advantage of it. There'll be always people that say, oh, you're lucky. No, we've worked hard. We've put ourselves in this scenario. We put ourselves in this moment and you're ready to shine. So again, I want any dialogue that anybody would like to talk about. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Lenson. You can give me a call. I'd love to talk. Kicking coaches it's a fraternity, and special teams coaches a fraternity. I'm there to help. And I want to kind of grow the game and foster it. So hopefully everybody was able to take a couple things away from this presentation. And Coach G and our coaching network, thank you for giving me the platform and the opportunity.